Alright, Shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, we like to begin this lesson by giving all glory, all honor, and all praises unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Ruchak Kodash, giving double honors, double unto the apostles and elders of great men, who surely do rule well, to the men signed by the highways and byways, pushing this doctrine like to say Shalom,
Shalom.
and even unto the sincere awkward sisters who sit listening to these lessons in silence, subjection and obedience unto their husbands, we like to say Shalom. Like a couple of brothers say gathered together from the heroes of Yahweh Shaikan, brother and brother Maya Shara. And the topic for this lesson, which will be a topic we visited because we have many parts to talk about in this, right? The day of the Lord, what we know. And we know a lot, right? If you could do that, Joel chapter 2, verse 1.
Joel 2 and 1. Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand.
Right.
So
that's the whole point right there. Now you see, that phrase, day of the Lord, when you look it up in the KJV, and press the exact phrase, it appears 29 times, right? Which meaning it's a topic that is usually talked about a lot, because even though you're seeing the term day of the Lord here, it's also known as many other things in the scripture when you really look into it, right? And there's a lot we know on this topic. Now, even though there's a lot we know, there's a lot we still don't know, right? 1 Corinthians 13 and 9. For we know in part, and we prophesy in part. So even though it have a lot we know, it have a lot we don't know. But what we're going to discuss, a lot of what it is we know about this day. The first point we'd like to talk about, something that we know about this day. It is the day when Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai will be magnified throughout all four corners of the earth. If you get Zechariah 14:9.
Book of Zechariah chapter 14 and verse 9.
Right.
And the Lord shall be king over all the earth.
Right.
In that day shall there be one Lord.
In that day, is that day or has that day come to pass as yet? No, because Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is not widely known around the earth. Go ahead.
And his name one.
And his name one. If you could give me it, Exodus chapter 5 from verse 1, because we saw scenarios like this play off already in which people in the earth didn't know about Yahweh. You could go ahead.
Exodus 5 and 1. Afterward Moses and Aaron went in and told Pharaoh, thus say the Lord Ba'ashem Yahushai, power of Israel, let my people go, and they may hold a feast unto me in the wilderness.
Right.
And Pharaoh said, who is the Lord Yahweh, that I should obey his voice and let Israel go? I know not Yahweh, neither will I let Israel go.
Right.
And they said, the power of the Hebrews hath met with us. Let us go, we pray thee, 3 days' journey into the desert, and sacrifice unto Yahweh our power, lest he fall upon us with pestilence or with the sword.
Exactly, right? Yahweh is the power of the Hebrews, and just as Pharaoh didn't know about him or knew his name back then, it's the same with the state and the minds of the people of the earth today. They do not know Yahweh now. But just as the events in Joshua chapter 2, right, and you could go from verse 9, with the harlot Rahab, right, with the two men who were sent to spy out the land, right, they had this encounter with Rahab, and hear what she said. Go ahead.
Read Joshua 2 and verse 9. And she said unto them, I know that the Lord Yahweh hath given you the land, and that your terror is fallen upon us, that all the inhabitants of the land faint because of you. For we have heard how the Lord Yahweh dried up the waters of the Red Sea for you, when you came out of Egypt, and what he did unto the 2 kings of the Amorites that were on the other side of Jordan, Sihon and Og, whom you utterly destroyed.
Right.
As soon as we heard these things, our hearts did melt, neither did there remain any more courage in any man because of you. For the Lord Ba'ashem Yahushai, your power is the power in heaven, and in the heaven above, and in earth beneath.
Exactly. So the mentality that Rahab had, what she waited, if you conjecture, right? What it is she knew was that the true power of this earth and of the heavens is Yahweh. And just as she figured that out, the day of the Lord is the day when every man will figure it out as well, right? Isaiah 2 from verse 19.
book of Isaiah, chapter 2 and verse 19.
You could read from 17.
Isaiah 2 and 17. And the loftiness of man shall be bowed down, and the haughtiness of men shall be made low.
Right, pride.
And the Lord Abashinu alone shall be exalted in that day.
Exactly. His name alone. Right, go ahead.
And the idols he shall utterly abolish, and they shall go into the holes of the rocks and into the caves of the earth, for the fear of the Lord Abashinu Shai, and for the glory of his majesty, when he ariseth to shake terribly the earth.
Right.
In that day man shall cast his idols of silver and his idols of gold which they have made which they made each one for himself to worship, to the moles and to the bats, to go into the clefts of the rocks and into the tops of the ragged rocks, for fear of the Lord Abashinu Shai, for the glory of his majesty, when he ariseth to shake terribly the earth.
Bang. So what? Every man gonna do away with the gods because they're gonna see the real power of heaven and his true representative Yahweh Shai magnifying his name. What Moses said, I will publish the name of my power. So what? Yahweh Shai gonna do it. He gonna publish his father's name. In doing so, publishing his name as well, because what? Yahweh Shai as well has to be acknowledged. Reading Philippians 2. Read verse 5 and then you can jump down to verse 9.
Philippians 2 and verse 5. That this mind be you, which was also in Hamashiach Yahushai.
Right, this mindset, this mentality. And right, then you read from verses 6 to 8, it will explain that mentality of how he humbled himself to the Father, right? Go ahead.
Verse 9. Wherefore power had also, wherefore Yahweh also had highly exalted him, and given him a name which is above every name.
Which is what rank?
That at the name of Yahushai, every knee should bow of things in heaven, and things in the earth, and things under the earth. That every tongue should confess that Yahushai Mashiach is Lord, to the glory of Yahweh the Father.
Exactly, right? So, they are the only ones going to be known in the earth as the true powers, right? Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, ultimately being the one true power of the earth, Yahweh, right? And being that that is the case, that is all set to go down when? On the day of the Lord. What else we know about the day of the Lord? It's the day of Yahweh Shai's return. You could go to Acts 1 and read from verse 5.
It's Acts 1 and 5. For John truly baptized with water, but ye shall be baptized with the Holy Spirit not many days hence.
Right.
When they therefore were come together, they asked of him, saying, Lord, that thou at this time restore again the kingdom to Israel.
Right.
And he said unto them, it is not for you to know the times or the seasons which your Father hath put in his own power,
Right.
but ye shall receive power after that the Holy Spirit is come upon you. And ye shall be witnesses unto me both in Jerusalem and in all Judea and in Samaria and unto the uttermost parts of the earth.
Right, go ahead.
And when he had spoken these things, while they believed, so like while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight. And while they looked steadfastly towards heaven as he went up, behold, two men stood by them in white apparel, which also said, Ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven? The same Yahushai, which is taken up from you into heaven, shall so come in like manner as ye have seen him go into heaven.
Exactly, right? He's coming in like manner, as Revelation 1 verse 7 puts it.
Revelation 1 and 7.
Yeah.
Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him. And all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him, even so am I.
Right, so what the day that all kindreds of the earth gonna wail because of him, that is known as what? The day of the Lord. Synonymously as well known as what? The day of Yahweh Shai's return. Because what? Again, the day of the Lord has many aliases. We're gonna get into that in this 4-part lesson. The day of wrath, the day of Yahweh's vengeance, all of these things going down on what? The same exact day, right?
And judgment as well.
Right, day of judgment, all that. Yeah, follow. If you could give me 2 Peter 3 and 4.
Look at 2 Peter chapter 3 and verse 4.
Right.
And seeing where's a I read from go straight to 4?
Yeah.
Right. 2 Peter 2 and verse 2 Peter 3 and verse 1 saying where's the promise of his coming? For since the fathers fell asleep.
In fact, Salakia, you really could I read from 3. Read from 3.
Right. 2 Peter 3 and verse 3, knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers walking after their own lusts,
Right.
and saying, where is the promise of his coming? But since the fathers fell asleep, all things continued as they were from the beginning of creation.
Exactly. So what there is a spirit in Israel, which is the next point we're going to address, that what people don't believe of the coming, the return of Yahweh Shai Mashiach, right? Because this proverb here, where is the promise of his coming? So what the promise of his coming is the day of the Lord. He's going to come at that exact day, at that exact time, at that exact hour, to what? Accomplish all the things he sets out to accomplish. One of the things he's going to accomplish, Matthew 24.
In Matthew 24, verse 27, for as the lightning cometh out of the east, and shineth even unto the west, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be.
Yeah.
For wheresoever the carcass is, there will the eagles be gathered together. Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken.
So all of that going down on the same day, the day of his return, the day of the Lord, go ahead.
And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other.
Bang. And that is it right there. The day he returns, it's also the day of Yahweh, right? The day of the Lord. Give me it 1 Corinthians 15 and from 22.
1 Corinthians 15 and verse 22. For as in Adam all die, even so in a Mashiach shall all be made alive. But every man in his own order. A Mashiach, the first fruits, afterward they that are anointed that is coming. Then cometh the end, when he shall have delivered up the kingdom to power, even the Father, Yahweh. Then he shall have put down all rule and all authority and power. For he must reign till he hath put all enemies under his feet. The last enemy that shall be destroyed is death.
So boom, the day that is known as well as the end. For then cometh the end. Verse 24. Right? So, the day of the Lord is also the day when Yahweh Shai will make his triumphant return. So you don't have to worry about dying to go and meet a maker, because he coming to meet you. Give me Luke 21:36.
Book of Luke chapter 21 and verse 36.
Yep.
Watch ye therefore and pray always, that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man.
You have to be hoping, praying that the day that day comes, the day of the Lord, you will be worthy to stand before the Son of Man, because if you're not, he's going to cut you asunder, as Luke 19:27 puts it. Go ahead.
The book of Luke chapter 19 verse 27, but those my enemies, which would not that I should reign over them, bring hither
and slay them before me. That is the day he's going to do it, the day of his return, the day of the Lord. You can give me one more precept. Colossians 1 and 26.
Book of Colossians chapter 1.
Sorry, 1 and 16.
And verse 16. For by him were all things created,
Right.
that are in heaven and that are in earth,
Right.
visible and invisible,
Right.
whether they be thrones or dominions or principalities or powers, all things were created by him and for him.
You know, Proverbs 16:4, he maketh the wicked even for what? The day of evil. So what? Again, don't worry about him. You come, you haven't to go and meet a maker because he's coming to meet you. Right? What else we know about this day? This is the day when everyone will know we were right. If you could give me Wisdom of Solomon 5.
Wisdom of Solomon chapter 5 and verse 1. Then shall all the righteous, then shall a righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as has afflicted him,
Again, that's 2 Peter 3:3. The last days they're going to be scoffers, right? Go ahead.
and made no account of his labors,
And even not just afflicted, just with the scoffers, you know, they laugh at the scorn. But also what? We're going to be delivered up before princes, rulers, kings, judges. They're going to what? Scourge you in the synagogues. They're going to kill you.
and the wrath is the reason of him.
Yeah, right.
Verse 2. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they look
So
for.
it's nothing they're going to expect to see. Again, because they're not expecting this day. Where is the promise of his coming? Go ahead.
And they repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometimes in derision, and a proverb of reproach.
Right.
We fools are counted his life madness, and his end to be without honor. How is he numbered among the children of power, and his lot among the saints?
Mm-hmm.
Therefore we have erred from the way of truth,
See, so they are acknowledging it now. Go ahead.
and the light of righteousness had not shined unto us, and the sun of righteousness rose not upon us.
Yahushai, go ahead.
We wearied ourselves in the way of wickedness and destruction. Here we have gone through deserts where there lay no way. But as for the way of the Lord, we have not known it.
But these men did, right? What had pride profit us? Verse 8. Or what good had riches with our vaunting brought us? These people in the earth gonna know that what we were right. If you can give me it, 1 Corinthians is 1 and from 18.
In 1 Corinthians 1 and verse 18.
Right.
For the preaching of the cross is to them that perish foolishness.
And when you go into that word foolishness, it goes back to the same word mystery, meaning they have the same root in the Strongs or in the Greek, right? Mysterion, something hidden from the ungodly, shown to the initiated. Go ahead.
But unto us which are saved, it is the power of power.
Go ahead.
For it is written, I will destroy the wisdom of the wise, I bring to nothing understanding of the prudent.
Go ahead.
Where is the wise? Where is the scribe? Where is the disputer of this world?
Right.
Had not power made foolishness the wisdom of this world?
It is even to the same thing in Isaiah, going out to a charmers, the astrologers, the stargazers, see if they may be able to help you. But all of them going to be confounded in that day. Again, they're going to know the prophets are right. Go ahead.
Scripture says that you can confound the wise men at Timon.
Yeah, destroy the wisdom of Timon. Yeah.
Verse 21. For after that, in the wisdom of power, the world by wisdom need not power. It pleased power by the foolishness of
Preaching to save them that believe. Right? So ultimately the foolishness of preaching gonna be known throughout the earth as the true wisdom. You can get it Ezekiel 12:21.
Ezekiel chapter 12 and verse 21. And the word of power came unto me, saying, Son of man, what is that proverb that you have heard in the land of Israel?
Like
saying,
the sayings, you put the famous sayings among the Israelites.
the days are prolonged and every vision faileth.
But it is taking too long and not no saying coming to pass. Right?
Tell them therefore, thus say the Lord Yahweh shall power, and make his proverb to cease, and they shall no more use it as a proverb in Israel, but say unto them, the days are at hand, and the effect of every vision.
The day of the Lord is at hand. When we start with that, Joel 2:1. Go ahead.
For there shall be no more in vain vision nor flattering divination within the house of Israel. For I am the Lord Yahweh, I will speak, and the word that I shall speak shall come to pass. It shall be no more prolonged. For in your days, O rebellious house, I will say the word and will perform it, say the Lord Yahweh Shai power. Again the word of the Lord came to me, saying, Son of man, behold, they of the house of Israel say, the vision that he seeth is so many days to come, and he prophesies of the times that are far off.
Exactly, the day of the Lord, you tell me about this day, but to you all it seems as a day that is afar off. Go ahead.
Therefore say unto them, thus saith the one Yahweh, there shall none of my words be prolonged any more, but the word which I have spoken shall be done, saith the one Yahweh.
And if you could just end it off right there, Ezekiel 33. It's gonna come a time in the year where what? Everybody gonna know we was right. He wasn't talking shit. And that day, when everybody gonna be convinced that he wasn't talking shit, is known as what? The day of Yahweh. Go ahead.
Aside from Tite,
Yep.
Ezekiel 33 and Tite, also thou son of man, the children of thy people still are talking against thee by the walls and in the doors of the houses.
But you talking shit, but you studying me? You want shit. Yeah.
And speak one to another, every one to his brother, saying, Come, I pray you, and hear what the word that cometh forth from the Lord Yahweh saith. So that hear the word that cometh forth from the Lord Yahweh. And they come unto thee as the people cometh, and sit before thee as my people. And they hear thy words, but they will not do them.
So there is the Israelites in them, but that Jeremiah 6:16 spirit, we will not we will not hearken. Let me just get out the last word in there. Right, we will not walk therein. That Jeremiah 6:16 spirit is on the nation of Israel, right? Go ahead.
And they come unto thee as the people who cometh, and sit before thee as my people. And they hear thy words, but they will not do them. For with their mouths they shew much love, but their heart goeth after their own covetousness. It's like after their covetousness.
Right.
So what? Verse 32, and lo, thou art unto them as a very lovely song.
So all that is just song like music to them.
Of one that had a pleasant voice and can play well on an instrument, for they hear thy words, but they do them not. And when this cometh to pass, lo, it will come.
Well, the days, the day of the Lord, the days that are at hand, which is same shall know it by death through pain. That day coming, right?
Then shall they know that a prophet had been among them.
So I even like to think in my mind that what? When I come down to it in the last days, the people really was scoffing at the Lord. Let me give an example, just Vocal Malone. In his last hours, he dying, but the Lord can send a vision in the head and he can remember Apostle Tahar. And you can say, oh shit, you know, he really was a prophet. That day coming, that day is known as the day of the Lord. Now, last point, you're not going to close off the video with this. The day of the Lord is also known as what? The end of the world, or this world as we know it. If you can give me Jeremiah 29 and verse 11.
Jeremiah 29 and verse 11. For I know the thoughts that I think towards you, say the Lord Yahweh Shai, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end.
And what we know it's an expected end. The day of the Lord is the day we expect all of this shit to end. Right? If you could give me 2 Ezra 6 and 9.
Book of 2 Ezra, chapter 6 and verse 9.
Right.
For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followed.
Boom.
That word world is what? Age.
Age, time, even Esau is the end of this time, because we know right now it is Esau's time. Revelation 12:12 and what? Genesis 27, Esau's blessing, even Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. Right now, this is the time where Esau's rulership is set to be put out, and the day that is going to happen is what? The day of the Lord. If you could give me Genesis 6 and 3. Sorry, Genesis 6 and 13.
The book of Genesis, chapter 6 and verse 13. And power said unto Noah, the end of all flesh is come before me.
That day is coming again, and he's not going to kill everybody, but he's going to kill a whole lot.
So
Go ahead.
Start from 11.
Yeah, go ahead.
In Genesis 6 and 11, the earth also was cut before power, and the earth was filled with violence. And this is how we know the Lord coming back, because as you can see, it's just getting more and more violent every day.
Yeah, the
And
tech.
war starting, two people deciding to go to war as soon as the next day start,
It is,
or before it finish.
the days are nowhere match the days of today.
Exactly.
Yeah, go ahead.
And power looked upon the earth, and behold, it was corrupt. For all flesh had corrupted its way upon the earth.
Right.
As you can see that really going on these days, especially the LGBTQ
Them
plus
is
community.
the same ones I was thinking. I think the precept where I wish I say, this is a wicked and adulterous generation. Yeah, go ahead.
How do you have you turning your rod into
Changing it.
V?
Yeah, changing the plumbing.
How you doing that? Verse 16, and power saith unto Noah, the end of all flesh is come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them. And behold, I will destroy them with the earth.
Exactly, and what the day of the Lord, He's going to do it again. Last precept, if you had nothing there.
And 1 or 2. Yeah, second verse 15 and 5.
Yeah.
He also said the Lord Abashim Shai will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction, for wickedness had exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled.
Exactly, the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet filled, but what the day coming where it's going to be filled and the Lord's going to tip that vial over on your head. If you could give me the last precept, Luke 17:26.
Look at Luke chapter 17 and verse 26. And as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be also in the days of the Son of Man.
So what, right?
They would eat, they drank, and married wives. They were given in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and the flood came and destroyed them all.
You could go ahead, go till 6.
Likewise also, it was in the days of Lot. They would eat, they drank, they bought, they sold, they planted, they builded. But the same day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven.
Same judgment this earth had again.
And destroyed them all. Even thus shall it be in the day when the Son of Man is revealed.
Exactly what the day of the Lord. The day of the Lord is the end of this time and of this world as we know it. So this has been our first part of our 4-part plus maybe even series, you know. We're going to discuss things we know about the day of the Lord, or rather what the day of the Lord, what we know. So Lord willing, this lesson was edifying and that you were edified. In closing, I'd like to say, Kal Halal Yamla Yahawa, Ba'asham Yahushai, Ba'asham Ruchach Wadash. I'd like to give double honors, double unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who surely do rule well. To the men standing by the highways and byways pushing this doctrine, we'd like to say Shalom.
Shalom.
And even unto the sincere awkward the sisters who sit listening these lessons in silence, subjection and obedience unto their husbands, we'd like to say Shalom.
Shalom.
This was a couple of brothers here from the Heralds of Yahweh Shai camp
Brother Hanana.
and Brother Maya Shala. Until next time, we'd like to say Shalom.